And good morning from Scotty Ray Candace. Candace has a morning off, and look who we have.
Good morning.
Jan Bushman.
Been a while.
It has been. Me and Jan worked together for probably
16 and a half years.
That was a long time.
A long time.
And then you went on to work for 24/30 for
exactly, television.
How many years?
9 years.
Wow.
9 years.
So you
and
were.
I'm only 47.
She's young, folks.
You haven't changed.
Oh boy, yeah, I have. Apparently, Jan, when she got locked into the pandemic, didn't have food in her house because the rest of us put on weight. And Jan, you're just too skinny to have lived through a pandemic.
You know, usually when you retire, you gain weight. I lost weight. But you got to remember, at work, we always had those snack drawers.
Yeah.
And the topic every morning was, where we're going for lunch today. And I didn't realize that's what was putting weight on me. So
You got rid of your snack drawer?
I got rid of my snack drawer.
So do you still walk and do all that stuff like you used to every day?
No, for several years, up to about 8 years, I worked out with a trainer and all that stuff. You know, Debbie and I compared muscles.
You and Debbie were at it now.
We were at it. We'd go work.
Oh,
we'd
boy.
Work out, and then we'd go out to her van and light up one of them nasty cigarette things.
So have you given up the habit?
Are
you trying?
I'm trying.
And I gave it up. It was either 8 or 10 years ago, and you know that's how I got started smoking years ago was radio because I worked that overnight shift trying to keep awake.
Yeah.
And well, I got hooked, and I finally give it up.
It used to be a social thing.
It was.
And I think that's how I got hooked on it. But it's a nasty habit. I need to quit it completely.
Things have socially things have changed. Now it's looked upon, it's frowned upon, I guess is the word.
You have to hide out. You have to be secretive.
Oh, that's too funny. Good morning to Joyce Arrington Stamper up this morning.
Oh, good morning, Joyce. Lord, I hadn't seen her in a long time.
And we got another Joyce, Miss Joyce Godwin, all the way from, she's up in Murfreesboro this morning watching. So morning to her as well.
Good morning to the Joyces.
So as we begin our day, still 32 degrees outside. The wind chill still chilly at about 27 this morning. And I mentioned this earlier this morning. People get sick because today it'll be 63 for a high.
Exactly.
Now, and as we address everything, it still looks like, you know, there was a lot of talk that we were going to have bad snow, we were going to have ice and a lot of things. It looks like thunderstorms still at this point. It is Mother Nature. Things can change in between now and Saturday, but it still looks at this point to be rain. I'll keep you up to date on that.
Scotty Ray.
Well, talk to me.
In Meridian, I worked at a vocational school, and if you predicted heavy rain, the students would call in and say, "Are we going to stay home because it's going to rain?" So don't even start talking about snow and ice around this town.
Oh, it shuts us down.
That's shut down.
It does. But still, as we look at radar this morning, all clear. We still have that chance of thunderstorms down here on the coast and down in Florida. And then all of this area up here through Kansas City and Indianapolis is where all this winter weather advisories are. And that's in effect snow. Wherever you see these little things right here is where they got snow. Like in Illinois there, they're showing 1 inch there. I've seen some of it up to 5 to 6 inches here lately of what they've got. So,
but you know, they have all those trucks that go around the sand
salt.
roads. They're prepared for it. We're not down here.
No, we don't know anything about it. The bridge there by the airport and also the 22nd Avenue Bridge is one of the worst in downtown areas.
Exactly. That cold air gets under those bridges, and that's why you have that icing over.
It does.
I didn't know I knew so much.
You are on it, Jan. And, of course, Friday we lost that historic building downtown Meridian. That burned to the ground. I'm not sure if the demolition crew has gotten there yet, but they are going to demolish the building.
They haven't determined the cause, but they think somebody was probably in there that shouldn't have been.
Trying to keep warm.
You know, probably had to start a little bonfire, roasting some marshmallows.
Yeah, and it got out of hand, knocked over.
Yeah. A shame.
It is. So we have lost that. We'll have another parking lot, most likely, in downtown Meridian. Mm-hmm. So that's what's coming. A lot of water was there from the fire department there in the 22nd. All that's dried up. You can go through the tunnel now. Mm-hmm. A couple of things that I wanted to point out as we go to, let's go over to Clark County Hot Topics and take a look at this. This is Clark County Hot Topics. If you've never been to their page before, they posted a wreck that happened Friday night. Now, you're going toward Quitman on the 4-lane, where Clarko State Park is on your left, and you take a right to go to downtown Quitman. This is where the wreck happened. From my understanding is the red truck was coming from Quitman, traveling north toward the 4-lane. You had someone traveling south on the 4-lane going toward the coast. The red truck pulled out in front of someone, and the wreck happened. The driver of the red truck here is in Jackson, and I think in serious condition.
It's in critical condition, probably.
The next driver of this pickup truck
my Lordy.
has gotten home. They're banged up, but they are okay. But this is some scenes from that wreck.
Thank goodness for airbags.
Yeah.
You know,
A miracle that he lived on
I was
that.
going to say.
But in the hospital in Jackson, and again, this has all come from Clark County Hot Topics. If you want to take a look at the pictures yourself, that's some of them that happened this weekend. And condolences to everybody on that. I hope everybody gets
Our
better.
prayers with all of them.
Yeah. I mentioned this earlier this morning. Flags are flying half-staff this week as this deputy here on the left was killed in the line of duty in southern Mississippi, down near the Louisiana line.
That's Lieutenant Mike, is it Booty?
I'm
I think it's
horrible
Booty.
at.
I'm looking at Boutte. I would think.
Yeah,
I
I will
he
miss.
took a lot of ribbon on that. Bless his heart, but
I
we
would.
have to keep his family in our prayers.
It is horrible for something like that to happen.
Yeah.
So we keep them as in our thoughts as the flags will fly at half-staff. So you'll kind of keep that in mind. Let's see other things. Did you watch the Super Bowl last night?
I did.
Okay. Now, see, I'm still one of those that I ain't got over everything, and I hadn't watched the sports at all since it all
All that
happened.
kneeling stuff.
Yeah, and I
you
hadn't
know.
I hadn't come back around. I'm having to adjust to this. So, was it a good game?
It wasn't. I really expected a much tighter game. That's what's exciting. Of course, I was pulling for Tom Brady. You know,
And of course
being
it-
a senior citizen, we can pull for the other guy. But Mahomes, I've seen him in all these commercials, and he's a likable fella. And it would break my heart to see the expressions on his face. But when a game is that runaway, I mean,
Well, they took it. All right, let's go to the national anthem. I watched a clip of it. Eric Church, and I don't know who the young lady that sang with him. How do you feel about different versions of the national anthem? Should you go out and do it the standard version?
you don't mess with a classic like that. You just don't.
It was different, wasn't it?
It used to, when we'd hear the national anthem, it'd give you goosebumps. You know, when
Stand.
they do it, the traditional national anthem, you'd stand, put your hand over your heart. I'm thinking, why they gotta, jazz this all up and everything? But
So you wasn't blown away with that either?
no,
And I like Eric Church a lot.
I like it, right.
And again, I don't know who the young lady is, and she probably can sing, but I don't want to say it was horrible. It was just a different way of doing it, and not my particular.
Well,
favorite.
they're trying to, unfortunately, they're trying to appeal to a younger audience, a new generation. We're going to.
Die out is what you're trying to say.
They're working on a replacement for us.
Good morning to Linda Jane up in Giles, Mississippi this morning. Scott Churlo this morning. He says he remembers when it was cool to smoke as well. And let's see here, Tammy Radcliffe Godwin.
Yeah.
She's in Milton, Florida, because I made a mistake on that
I
once
know
before.
where Milton, Florida is. I've been there before.
I don't guess I've ever been there.
We had friends in the Navy that were stationed there.
What's that close to? What city?
It's kind of close to Pensacola.
Pensacola,
Right
all
in
right.
there,
Pensacola is beautiful down there. The water,
Oh,
as you go there and you look at the change of water from Mississippi as you cross there, the water's blue for some reason, muddy in Mississippi. Let's see here. Good morning to Cliff Gardner. Morning,
I love
Jan.
Cliff. Go to
Do you?
church. I go to church with Cliff.
Well, get
Good
out of
man.
here. Morning. Let's see here. And also, let's see. Amen. Some Candace J. Candace May is watching.
Okay, Candace, we're doing okay.
Candace
You
is
did
all
good
at it.
color on my hair, Candace. Thank you.
So she does your hair?
No, actually, she doesn't. Jennifer does it. That works with her, but Candace is my fill-in, and
She helped you
She
out
did
there.
good, yeah.
Let's see here. The Super Bowl streaker. Did you see the Super Bowl streaker?
I didn't see him, but I just to make sure there was one, I was streaking at Ron and Harriet's. No, it wasn't. I'm telling you, it wasn't.
Well, here's a clip of what happened last night. And I really don't understand why people get the urge to, as Ray Stevens said, to run in the nude. But he didn't actually get naked, but he got pretty close. Here's a clip of what happened.
Let's check this out. He's just in his undies.
Yeah. And then this is where
Touchdown!
and they pounded on him. They
yeah.
took him down. So that happened last night during the Super Bowl as well.
Poor guy's got some issues.
He does.
He doesn't get enough attention.
And, is probably tied to some either Facebook or Twitter page where he bet that he'd get out.
Exactly.
Normally, that's how those things come about. So we'll watch that and see where it goes.
Hey, somebody made some money on that bet because the bookies lost.
Ooh.
No, the bookies probably came out real good. There's a lot of people losing money on that game.
So the guy that bet the $3.5 million for a 3-point spread, does he still win? Or does he lose because it wasn't a 3-point spread?
I'm not a gambler.
I don't know much about it, but he bet $3.5 million
Somebody could tell us
on Brady.
That. Yeah. Oh, he
So,
did?
Yeah.
Oh.
For him to win by at least 3 points. And if it's at least, I guess he wins.
I think he wins.
I guess that's how it works.
Do we have a name and location where we can find him?
Britt Gully says it's the first time I've ever heard the national anthem saying where you can two-step to it. Good point, Britt. Miss Gail Gafford is up in Adam in Porterville, Mississippi. Also, Linda Moore Peavy House said that was close to Niceville, Florida.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so, all right, well, there we go. Let's look at a few more things that are going on this morning as we pull up. Let's see here what we got going on. I got a button here that we can push. This is not a well-liked fella in Meridian, Mississippi. A week from now, matter of fact, this weekend would be the day that he marched into Meridian and burned it to the ground on Valentine's Day, 1864.
Oh, my mercy.
So Sherman is, and if you go back, he was real close with a family in Vicksburg before the war, and they remained friends with him, and they were shunned from there on. Their family was never accepted into Vicksburg. Yeah. They named one of their kids after him, and they were nothing in Vicksburg after that.
I'm sure.
What was it, 1932, before Vicksburg would celebrate the 4th of July? And you go, well, why did people do that? It was bad. It was down to where they were shut off. They had no food. They had to eat horses. It was the worst nightmare you could imagine in Vicksburg, Mississippi. We live in a world now where that's just a memory, but it was very hard times for the South. So that happened on this date. He had a big old birthday. Was this one of your favorites growing up, Jan?
Ooh, James Dean. He's one of them bad boys,
Yeah. Born on this date in 1931, and of course he passed away at the age of 24 years old.
Shame.
In that
Porsche. It was
a
car accident, wasn't it? A bad car accident.
So at James Dean, I have never watched Rebel Without a Cause all the way through. Did you watch it?
I may have, but at my age, I've forgotten if I liked it or not.
That's bad, Jan. Can't remember.
I can't remember.
Now, this guy started out on the rock and roll sides of things, and then came over to country. And he had done duets with Marie Osmond.
Yeah.
But the one song that I remember that always stuck out, Dan Seals, and he passed away, and I didn't really realize that. It kind of happened in 2009. Everything That Glitters Is Not Gold. One of my favorites.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
So Bop With You Baby All Night Long, Meet Montana. It was just scores and scores of the other songs that he had that were number one. But
the Meet Me in Montana with Marie Osmond was
that
really a pretty song.
So, and then also the gentleman Jim Reeves had the number one song in 1960 with He'll Have to Go. Of course, turn the jukebox way down low.
Yeah,
tell your friend they're with you. He'll have to go.
You going to sing for us?
I can't sing. I can only talk. And I learned at an early age at Scuba United Methodist Church when Dr. Crickard never let me sing with the choir, and she always gave me the speaking parts. That's all she wanted me to do.
Wonder why?
Because I couldn't sing. And I knew it.
Good thing you can talk.
But I can hum in my car with the best of them.
Yeah.
Up in my pickup truck, I'm good at it. I was not a big Woodstock person, but I know that there was a generation that ate that stuff up. Did you go to?
That was no.
You didn't go to Woodstock?
No.
Did you know anybody that
Woodstock Furniture, maybe, but no, didn't know anybody. That was let's see, in '73, how old was I?
I was 4 years old.
I was 2.
But the gentleman where it was held,
right?
he passed away in 1973, the guy that let him have it in 69 on his farm. And doesn't he look older than 53 years old in that picture?
No, that's about right.
It is?
That's what I look like now, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. But he passed away on this date. He had it at his farm. And it was, I don't even know what the count was of how many people attended that thing.
Yasker. I wonder what kind of a name that is. Is that Polish or something?
You got me, Jan. You'll have to tell me. You're better at things like that. Let's see. Good morning to Miss Helen Stubberfield. She's all the way from Philadelphia, Mississippi.
Metropolitan Philadelphia, Mississippi.
Gail says I was trying to sing in the shower. I can't. I don't really sing in the shower. And Debbie will tell you this about me and you may have noticed it. When I get to think, I think in my head, and I accidentally blurt things out that I'm thinking in my head.
Yeah, my mouth overloads my brain sometimes too. I know exactly what you mean.
Scott says he was 9 years old when the thing happened.
Yeah.
Woodstock. Couldn't get it out.
Yeah.
But, that was it was real foreign to me. And I guess I was a different kid. I was that kid that wore the flannel and listened to Buck Owens and Waylon. And, I didn't quite fit into the rest of them.
I was a Tennessee girl. All that hippie mess, we just thought those were the weirdos.
It was hippie. Flower child is what we called them. And we just, didn't do that.
And here we have the bell bottoms back again.
Can you believe? And I thought, finally, that stuff is over.
Oh, I have them. Do you remember what we call the Jesus shoes, the platform sandals? You had all that.
You got those too now? Yeah.
Not now. I had them.
No, where in Tennessee? Because you've been here most of your life now. Where'd you grow up in Tennessee?
I've been here most of my married life. I grew up in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Chattanooga, the Chattanooga Choo Choo.
Yes. Matter of fact, I'm trying to think of the artist that sang. Was married to Carly Simon. What's his name?
See, that's rock and roll. I don't know much about that.
Well, he's actually sang to me.
That's
on
Fleetwood.
My 21st. No. James.
James Brown?
No.
I know him.
No, he was a white guy. Real popular, big back then. Let's move on. It'll come to me by the end of the show.
It was 1970.
James Taylor.
James Taylor.
James Taylor.
He played the hit. Wasn't he hippie stuff?
Yeah, no, kind of. He was just pop music, and he was married to Carly Simon for a while.
I didn't know that.
And when the Choo Choo opened all those big restaurants and everything downtown, he was performing there, and he actually had a contract to come back every year to do something, because he did the grand opening. And my 21st birthday, I went there for my birthday, and he sang "Lay Lady Lay" to me.
See, and I don't know that song.
Oh, well.
Is that a big song?
Yeah, it was a big song for him. Let's move right along. Don't you have something else we need to talk about?
But I do know the name James Taylor.
James
I just
Taylor,
know that it was just kind of like what I would call elevator music.
Ballad, more ballad type music.
Yeah, it didn't have any outlaw stuff like
No,
Waylon
no,
would
no,
have.
no,
Okay.
no.
All right.
No.
Well, it was 1978 that New England had to dig out of 55 inches of snow on this date. Can you imagine? Look at the pictures of how high that snow is.
Great Scott. I was in Philadelphia, Mississippi one year when they had a blizzard, and it was like 25 inches of snow.
Wow.
And then snow drifts in 4 or 5
And when
feet.
you say Philadelphia, you mean PA?
Pennsylvania. I'm married to a Yankee, and a retired Marine at that, so give me a break. We'd gone up there
Because I was
for
sitting
New
here thinking,
Year's.
Philadelphia, Mississippi. I ain't never heard Marty Stewart talk about that.
We went up there for a New Year's thing, and the snow hit, and we were going out somewhere, and a car hit us, and we ended up staying up there an extra week to have my vehicle
Fixed.
And my boss said I was not allowed to go up north during the wintertime anymore after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you got stranded.
Ended up being up there 2 weeks, did one. So.
But, back when I traveled, I used to, anywhere that involved the north in the winter that I had to go, I always dreaded it because I'm not used to driving in that stuff. And if you're not, you can have an accident easy.
It's a wet cold up there to me.
Yeah.
No.
Good morning to Miss Ann Cook watching this morning. Carolyn Knight Bowen all the way from Scooby, Mississippi. And look, your friend is watching. She says that one of us look great.
Who's my friend?
Harriet
Harper. Oh, my mercy.
You think she was talking about me or you?
No, she's my older sister. That's good. I can mess with her now.
Ooh, Harriet. Harriet's a sweet person, of course, and I worked with her in radio for quite some time.
Oh, yeah. Two of the best people, seriously. I thank God every day that they brought, that He brought them into our lives, because we're kind of joined at the hip.
You and Harriet?
Yeah.
Bless
What's
you.
funny is everywhere we go, and she could tell some stories that I wouldn't want to repeat, but
I bet she could.
People think that we're sisters.
Really?
I'm blonde. She's brunette. She's nearly 6 foot tall. I'm 5'7.5".
She is tall.
Yeah, she's tall. She's a beauty, though.
She's a
really
handful.
is.
Like her
She's
bunch.
a mess.
This seems like yesterday you and I were at the radio
this is
station.
my other child.
This is, JJ has hooked up with Jan and is like forever her buddy now. He ain't left you for the last
But look
hour.
at our hair color. See, we're real close.
Jay got his hair done a few days ago. And he is like taken up with you.
He really has. He's been here all morning.
Him and Angie, my wife, have this disagreement. Anything he can do to make Angie mad, he does it. He will not listen to her. He'll stand out in the yard and just look at her when she calls him.
we lost our little Sheltie recently, not our Sheltie, our Shih Tzu. We had a Sheltie before that.
See, I never say that name because I'm afraid I'll say it wrong.
Yeah, but anyway, we used to tell him, it's a good thing you're so cute. And that's what Angie does here with JJ,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
He's challenged,
Yeah.
we'll say that. But you and I were at the radio station. I remember when this song came out, and it's hard to believe this was 1990 that Travis Tritt released "Help Me Hold On."
Oh,
Can y'all believe
great
that?
Song.
It was.
Where'd the time go?
I don't know. It's in Jan. I have to say this. I don't know if you remember this. The first time that I become a salesperson, you took me out with the very first ride, and you took me to Massey Supermart Auto Sales, and that's where we went on my
Dear
first call.
Lord.
And you trained me.
Yes, that's right.
And with you being only 2 years older than me, it was just
Right. I mean, I was trying to give you the benefit of my wisdom and age.
But that's probably in the late 80s, I guess, 89, 90, somewhere along in there.
91.
91?
I came to the station in 91.
So it was somewhere along in there.
Right. And I went to TV in 2007.
Wow.
And I can remember that.
And that's good just to remember things sometimes.
Becky Briggs
Oh, bless Becky.
hired me.
Did she?
I worked at a vocational school, and she said, when you get ready to, get out of this, come to the radio station. An interesting interview,
I can only imagine.
I can imagine.
We all had some great. That's back when radio was really fun.
It was fun back then. We had a good group. We really
Things
did.
have just changed for
a lot.
radio altogether. The way
Exactly.
things are now, people no longer rely on radio. Because all of our iPhones just do what radio stations used to do.
Well, XM radio in the vehicle.
Yeah. Any song that you wanna
stream
hear.
your music right over your phone.
Because used to you'd have to call and request a song and
Yeah,
wait to hear it. You
yeah.
ain't doing that no more.
No more.
You ain't got that old boy that kept putting you off. Well, he probably doesn't have a job now.
Technology has been a blessing in many, many ways, and yet in a lot of ways it has been bad.
Yeah, because
for
like
this
when I
country.
started out in radio, that job no longer, because I had the overnight job. That's where I learned to talk and get better overnight. And that guy doesn't exist. It just plays music now.
You were just
And
a kid then too, weren't you? I was gonna say,
17.
you're a teen still.
When I started, and that was back when Bill Day was in Meridian. I
you're
remember
getting
that.
old.
Glenn Miller, Ken Rainey, and Keith were in the morning.
Oh yeah.
And I learned so much from Ken through the years. It's been extremely good to me. And of course, then came Earl and Becky and Jay.
And Jay.
And it's so hard to
Gosh,
believe that Jay has passed away.
That's hard to believe. It really is.
Just it's our world is shrinking as to what we knew. It was 1990. I didn't realize this. You said that you used to listen to his music. Dale Shannon committed suicide on this date.
You got to remember, my husband's from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania,
So y'all knew this.
and this was his music.
My Little
The sad
Runaway.
thing is, he still listens to this music.
And I get that now. There was a
But
time where I
that's-
didn't get where, but like country music is no longer country, so I stay away from it.
I was not a country music fan until I came to OKK Radio with y'all.
Right.
But it went from twang twang to
was cool.
Garth Brooks and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter went from Guns N' Roses to Garth Brooks.
And now
it changed.
Michael Jackson is now country, if y'all don't know that. Listen to it
Really?
compared to what's on the radio now.
Compared to what's
It was last year at this time. And I have to say, out of all the artists that are out there that are on a major label, this is the guy that's going to continue the country on into
Luke
the future.
Combs,
Luke
yeah.
Combs, he's a great singer. If you hadn't picked up an album of his and a writer on top of that, is very few people that have his talent. Most have to go through these all this different stuff, and he's the real deal. He can write a song and really talk about it. So there you go.
JJ's not wanting to sit down.
Well, Jay, do you need to get down and walk around a little bit there, buddy?
I'm gonna put him down and see what he does.
He can go. He'll flop around, come back in a minute,
He can
visit
climb
with
in
us.
my purse and I'll take him home with me.
Let's take a minute and talk about the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. Exit 151 off the interstate. Spring is coming. They've got all your insecticides. Is that how you say that word?
Insecticide.
Yeah, I can never pronounce
Good
that.
thing I'm here.
And fertilizer. Now, of course, they'll have all your spring flowers. They're getting that ready. If you need steps, they got a whole bunch of steps there in the back. And as we get disinfectant, if you need to keep some of these in your car, they got plenty there. And, of course, cleaning your house, your countertops, whether you
Exactly.
work. As we move through there, Mobucks, T-shirts, and apparel, great ones there.
Good looking shirts.
You can also take advantage. There's a few of these left of the Carhartt blue jeans for $20, and that's a deal this
Man,
day and
that's
time.
a deal.
Because blue jeans, as you all know, they jump up $40, $50 easy. So about half
Easy.
price there.
And the more ripped up they are, the more expensive they
Yeah,
get.
go figure all of that. The new design when it comes to Georgia boots are in. If you like that reptile look, they've got plenty of those to choose from. Georgia boot is probably one of the most comfortable boots that you can put on your feet. If you have to be on your feet all day, this is the boot to wear. I got plenty of them. And, of course, mud boots with all this rain coming in, that's great if you got to work your cows, you're doing something around the farm. That's the way to do it. JJ having a cough over in the corner. Of course, heaters, we're not out of this. If you got to do outside work, the My Buddy heater and the hard-to-find canisters to fill them back up. They've got the propane bottles there at the farm supply. And, of course, you can take advantage of all of the different cameras they have that you can use for security, or still, as deer season ends, you can still use these for security or still take pictures of your deer, whatever you want to do.
We got one of those to watch our hummingbirds.
Really?
Yeah, we did.
Get out of here. And, of course, all the feed and seed that you want to take advantage of there, triple clean corn involved as well, taking care of your horse and cattle, all right there. Find it, your guns, and, of course, scopes, and a whole lot more. The Lauderdale County Farm Supply, exit 151, right off the interstate. Drop in and see them today.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
As we go back, Mississippi mourns, and this is one of the sad stories that we passed along this morning. A Mississippi deputy was hit by a drunk driver over the weekend. Now, he's still alive. This was near Memphis. He's in critical shape. A drunk driver, he was changing the tire for somebody that broke down and hit him.
That's a shame.
It is. So send out, if you've got a prayer today, make sure that he's included in your prayers there as he tries to recover. Austin Eldridge is his name. So we think about him and all that he's going through this. Now, you don't hear these things happening often, but look at this, what happened over the weekend.
Grief.
Roger Wicker's wife is shopping in Tupelo, and this lady snatched the purse from her. And she got several of the charges, but they chased her down. They got her for burglary of an auto and misdemeanor warrants. She's been arrested, and Roger Whittaker's wife got her purse back.
Was her purse stolen out of her vehicle or from her?
I think, the way I understood it was stolen from her.
Okay.
And it could have been out of the car. I could be mistaken on that.
Don't ever leave a purse
Yeah.
or anything like that in your vehicle.
Especially when it's in line of vision. So
Exactly.
keep that in mind.
Exactly.
Now, tonight, since it's cold, Joe is opening up the Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville for the West Lauderdale
Oh,
Youth
nice.
Association. Tonight, between 5:30 and 7:30, you can come inside and sign up your kids for this there at Piggly Wiggly. It'll be a lot warmer than having to do it some other kind of way.
Yeah, I think so.
So drop in and see them today with what's going on. Now, I'm not sure. Jackson, I mentioned this Saturday morning, has just gotten to be, last year, 2020, ended with the most deaths that Jackson has ever had. I think it was 128. They've already had, they've had 15 murders so far this year in Jackson, and an 8-year-old girl was shot in the head. You know where County Line Road, you take 220 is?
Yes, I know exactly
Hanging
what you're
Moss
talking about,
Road,
yeah.
right up the road from there. This little girl and another child was in the car. A 2-year-old were hit with bullets, and I assumed that it was just random shots. The 2-year-old is okay. The 8-year-old girl has gone through surgery. She's alive. She hasn't passed away. But with that, there was like 4 or 5 people shot this weekend up there.
And I'm sure these people had registered guns, right?
Oh,
And
probably.
background checks and all
Yeah,
that.
because they're going to blame it on somebody like that. We all know what went
Innocent
on.
children get caught in so much of this
Awful.
bad stuff. It's ridiculous.
As we go to Hattiesburg, I think this had been there since 1931. A gym that had been there since the early 30s burned at Hawkins Elementary School. Burned to the ground. There's nothing left of it. I think they were looking at renovating it, making it something else to use for the community. But it has been burned, and it is gone now. No word if it was homeless or what went on with that. Jan reminds me of Gloria on The Young and Restless. Look at there. Do you know who Jan is? Now, I hadn't watched it since Miss
Gloria,
Chancellor was on there.
No, but I used to get, when I had long hair, Lonnie Anderson a lot.
Lonnie Anderson?
Yeah, it must be these lips.
It must. Did you ever chum up to Mr. Carlson?
No. No.
And you have to really think WKRP in Cincinnati was probably one
I
of
just
the
jumped up
funniest.
to you.
We were tight.
We were tight, like brother and sister.
KRP in Cincinnati really, in some ways, did portray how radio was in the early.
Exactly.
It was
Exactly.
the absolute most fun job you could ever have in the world.
Hey, I just noticed George Matthews. Now, let me tell you who that is. In
Who's
Chattanooga,
George?
Tennessee. That's my twin brother.
Really?
It's George Landis Matthews. And by the way, we need to keep him in our prayers and wish him well. He just had quadruple bypass surgery like you had about a year ago.
Bless you, brother.
And he's doing real well, but he's married. He's my twin brother. He's married to Helen, who has an identical twin sister that lives across the street.
Really?
But we send them a lot of love. Good people.
You know what
Wish
the
him well.
biggest memory of my heart attack that happened? I had gotten home. I'd been here about maybe a week or something like that, and Angie had walked off, and Madison had left, and somehow or another, I turned my recliner over, and I'm laying in the floor, and I laid in the floor for 20, 25 minutes before somebody come back through and found me. That was the worst, I guess, that happened to me on that. So I hope George gets better because I've been there.
He doesn't fall out of his recliner.
Uh-oh. Debbie is out of the closet this morning. Hey, Jan.
No way.
Jan, Debbie is up and at 'em today.
Did you really mean to wear those shoes with that outfit? Does that bring back memories, Debbie?
They were y'all were rough on each other.
We pick on her so bad.
So that's what's going on there.
She'd say that to me, and I'd go home and change shoes.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. Well, and again, I didn't watch the Super Bowl, but I know that some people did. Tom Brady brings home the 7th trip, his win last night, 31-9.
Now, my understanding is he's been to 10 of these, but this was his 7th win.
It's big either way.
It's
now,
awesome.
Now, they call him the GOAT, which means the greatest
of all time.
Greatest of all time, I guess.
Yeah, greatest of all time.
Because I was sitting here this morning thinking, what does GOAT mean? And I got the greatest, and I couldn't remember the rest of it. So that greatest
Stick
of
with
all.
me. I'm up on all this lingo stuff.
And I am horrible at, I do know what BTW, by the way, means now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them I don't know.
Hey, listen, when I first got a phone and could text, people
Yeah.
would laugh because I'd signed my name.
Oh,
Thank you, Jan.
All the way out?
Yeah.
You live and learn.
I didn't realize.
But who doesn't miss the flip phone? Because it would fit in any pocket. These things we got now, you can't shove it. It's like toting a notebook around.
They used to tease me because my phone was so big. They said, Jan, you calling the front line? Okay, troops, move. So I got a little tiny phone.
Yeah.
And now they get bigger and bigger.
Back in you remember, of course, I remember riding with you and you had a bag phone.
Oh, yeah. I had one of the first.
In your Cadillac.
Oh, yeah. Laying on that seat, I was big time. Hey, look, I thought I was big time when I got a pager, so.
Oh, I remember those
Remember
days.
that?
I remember doing election returns live on Comcast, and Debbie sitting at home hitting my beeper over and over, trying to throw me off while I was talking live. It was funny.
Oh, we thought we were impressive. We'd walk into a business. I'm sorry, I just got a page. Can I borrow your phone?
And I was trying to think of that company that used to do that in Meridian, where we got them all from. But boy,
I can't remember.
pagers. As we turn to other news stories nationally, now this is kind of shocking. Lou Dobbs has humongous ratings on Fox News, and he has been canceled.
This cancel culture is getting ridiculous.
Now, of course, him, Judge Jenny, and there's one other that is
Janine.
Janine.
Yes.
She's named in the lawsuit by one of these that are suing over the election fraud. The software company Smartmatic.
Smartmatic
is suing them.
Now, I think that Smartmatic was really just in the California area or something, but
Oh, and
ridiculous.
Maria, the lady Maria that's on
Yeah,
it, she's
yeah,
also named it.
Bartoloma.
But Fox fired him over this.
I don't understand
Canceled his show. It's huge.
I don't understand it.
And then,
He was one of my favorites.
which
He told
brings
it like
up,
it is.
he did. And as you look at this, they put this out there. I forget who had this headline. He was on Daily Mail, but is in Fox a race with itself to the bottom of the ratings because they keep doing away with what people like.
And here's the sad thing about what's going on in this country.
Oh boy.
I'm proud to say a proud Republican.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with
Trump
that.
supporter. I had friends that were Democrats,
Mm-hmm.
and years ago, that was just how you agree to disagree.
Yeah.
You still socialize. You were friends, and it's now become ridiculous. You have to be real careful.
But you're right. Years ago, even though everybody had their own differences and maybe voted, we were still came as one when it comes to being an American.
Exactly.
It's not so much anymore. Oh, Debbie says Jan was the meanest.
It was not. I was the fun one. I was the peacemaker over there. Are you kidding me?
Oh, that's too funny. Oh, Debbie says it was called your field phone.
My fit, exactly. She remembers.
Oh, money bullies at work. All right.
Exactly.
So that's a trip down memory lane on that. And boy, I do remember those bag phones were human, but boy, they would pick up so much better than these new phones now because they had that big old antenna. You had an antenna on your trunk, I remember.
Exactly.
What was it, that green Cadillac you used to have?
That big sedan DeVille, the big thing that I drove around like I did my CTSs.
Yeah.
They made way for me when they saw me coming through town.
I'll have to take you over to my garage and show you my huge land yacht.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, this, despite being canceled, and he's lost his record deal, he's lost contracts, he's been thrown off the ACM awards. And, CMA hadn't said anything, but I'm sure that they're going to chunk him too. But despite the cancel culture, and he admits that he done wrong, he still has the #1 songs. I think the top 3 songs of this morning. He's outselling everybody. So country music fans have not given up on him, despite what the record labels. At the end of the day, the record labels are the one making the huge money out of this. He gets a small percentage, but they're making money off of this. He's in headlines everywhere, but they're trying to ruin his career, and I hope he pulls through this.
Hey, we've all said stuff we shouldn't say.
Absolutely.
You know, and you go, did I really say that? You know, and you apologize.
Yeah.
He's obviously not.
I watched the thing, and I don't.
The proper political party where you can say anything you want.
Yeah, there was a guy in New York that was a meteorologist, and I don't know how he exactly said it, but he apologized. He said it was Martin Luther King's parade, and he accidentally said Martin's name wrong, and he corrected himself. He was abruptly fired for mispronouncing it, and he apologized on the air. He didn't say anything ugly by any means, and he pretty much started like what I do. He's got his own little weather thing and does news with him and his wife. He's doing great in the end, but it's cancel culture everywhere. Bank of America is in trouble with the people that bank with them, and if I were with them, I would probably move to another bank now because they gave all of this information of anybody that was in D.C. They, without a search warrant, gave it over to the federal government if you bought anything in Washington.
Sounds like a good case for a class action lawsuit, quite frankly.
That could very well happen, and y'all watch that in the news.
Exactly.
So Bank of America, and of course, I've heard stories of them not wanting you to purchase guns and kind of making it where you can't use your debit card. And we'll see where that goes. Has America had enough? Now, this next story, you have to think outside the box here. Trump gave everybody $600. He finally got that small amount through. He wanted to give $2,000.
Exactly.
Joe gets elected and says, I'm going to make that $2,000. So he gets $1,400.
Exactly.
Well, the Democrats are upset because they expected $2,000 instead of 14. In Joe's mind, 6 and 4.
Already gone out. That's the 2,000.
But she's upset with Biden over that. It equals $2,000. Now, I do agree that if you look into the breakdown of what the United States gives to other countries is ridiculous compared to what it has given to our own people.
Well, I think a lot of all the negotiating here was trying to reduce a lot of that, bailing out these cities, number one, under poor management that are about going on. That has nothing to do with the coronavirus.
Yeah.
They need to take care of people who are suffering. They need to get people back to work is what they really need to do.
Absolutely.
Kids back in school. Don't even get me fired up on all this.
But it's understandable. I think most Americans agree with you, Jan, of back to work, we got to eat. Government assistance, even if they give it to you, will only last so long. Help the American people till they get back on their feet, and let's get America rolling again.
Use some common sense. When I go out anywhere, I wear my mask. I carry my sanitizer in the car. It's common sense. But these children, the science supposedly says children are not the problem as far as spreading this virus.
So what is the deal with, because I've heard this and I haven't read any of the articles, so I can't give any advice on it, but the thing where they're saying wear 3 masks, I mean, is that legit?
No, I think that was, in other words, take every precaution. If you feel better with 2 masks or whatever.
Okay.
Of course, what's his face? What's the doctor's name?
Fauci?
Yeah, Fauci. Started out saying you don't even need to wear a mask.
I remember those days.
And then admitted to lying about everything because he didn't want to have a shortage on PPE stuff.
PPE, yeah. Boy, I tell you.
Who knows? Just use some common sense and be careful.
Y'all get ready because this is coming probably as soon as things break loose. Trump is going to be coming to a city near you most likely targeting the 10 people, those House Republicans that voted to impeach him on a rally to get rid of them out of office.
What I don't understand is the Supreme Court not getting involved in this, because this is not constitutional.
No, it's not.
The Constitution is very, very clear. It's to remove an elected official in office.
They didn't want to get political because they knew that the moment they done anything, there would be fires, there would be, and that's why they didn't get involved. And I truly believe that. Now, I could be wrong, but I think that has a lot to do with why the Supreme Court didn't do anything, and that's not right.
And yet now they're hearing cases
Yeah.
that should have been heard before the inauguration.
So where does this put America? What if they were to rule that something wasn't right in the elect? You can't backtrack at this point, not to my knowledge.
But I'm telling you, if they don't do something, it's going to be hard for us to really trust any election going forward.
Oh, I'm not sure that
That's sad.
average Joe will ever trust the election process ever again. I don't see that.
I just want to make clear, we're not claiming we know anything
Correct.
took place, but a lot of times when there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
And let's just leave it at that.
So we don't know
So-
where this will end up in a few years.
If you've nothing to hide, why would you oppose investigating? And let's just go on a little common sense there.
Debbie just texted me. She said, "Do you need me to come finish your sentences, Scotty Ray?"
It's got me, Debbie.
Gordon Ramsay is going to be opening up a cookery school. Now, if you graduate successful, you will work for one of his restaurants. That's real similar to like the Hell's Kitchen thing, isn't it? Isn't that what happens with
Very
that?
similar. Uh-huh.
But I guess he's going to be getting all the money for this, I assume.
Well, hello.
This is going to be in London, I think, where they'll hold those
Oh, okay.
classes. Can you imagine being married to that guy?
No.
Because I'm sure he's blunt with her, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Now, Jan, I'm not going to put you on the spot and talk about what you done before you got married, but this is the thing that America is coming to. A whoopee consent app means if you get romantically involved with somebody, that you have to sign off on it's okay to have it so you won't get sued by the other one accused of rape.
And this is a new app.
Yeah.
What is the, again, technology has its good side and has its bad side.
Now, Denmark is how this all got started, is where this, because they've got
Well, they're
the
strange
laws
over there
so,
anyway.
so bad. But this stuff is coming there to where you feel compelled to do that. So I guess I need to leave that subject alone. Huh?
I think we just need to move on from that. That's just
Whoopee.
ridiculous.
Whoopee. That they didn't word it that way. I had to change the word to that
Yeah.
because I don't know. So when was
Moving right along.
right? When was the first computer that you owned? Do you
Personally,
remember?
yeah.
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Okay.
Okay.
That took you a while.
I got my own laptop.
It was 93 when me and Angie saved up enough money. I think it was 93 to 96. It was $3,000. And in 1996 or 93.
That was a ton of money.
Yeah,
then.
a lot of money. That was right after we'd been to Cowboy Maloney when Dylan was born and spent the $1,800 on the camcorder. That was that big.
Oh, yeah, that big. Yeah.
But the very first Apple computer is up for sale, and you can bid on it if you'd like to own it. There wasn't, I think, but 30 of them made, and this is what it looked like. And they're expecting this to sell for $1.5 million.
All right, you get one, I'll get one. How's that?
What would you do with it? I guess it's a conversation piece.
This is for people who have more money than they know what to do with. I mean, this is just
Fortunately,
ridiculous.
we don't have that problem.
No. Well, your collectibles are only worth what somebody's willing to pay for.
Correct.
So, you got any old boots that we might could sell?
I don't think they'll bring no money like that. Now, this next story is sad, and expect this to get really bad for this guy because he's hurt a child. The Kansas City chief assistant coach is under investigation. Before the Super Bowl, he ran into a parked car on the side of the road that they'd run out of gas.
Yeah.
They call somebody to help him. They're helping him pour gas in it. He comes along. He's been drinking. He's had some pills and bumps into him. And one of the children on the back seat is in serious condition.
Yeah, the little 5-year-old child.
So expect lawsuits, and you know how these things turn out. It could be
Don't
bad.
drink and drive.
It ain't worth it.
It is, nuh-uh.
Now, I don't know where people stand on this. This guy seems like he's a real honest guy. He turned his life around, became something, and since he took to hanging out with Donald Trump, his life has been, well, turned around. They're trying to destroy him. But YouTube, you know, he kept saying, I've got the proof, and he's going to release it last Friday. Well, YouTube has pulled it down, and are not letting it be aired because they say it does not speak the truth. We don't know. But he put all types of stuff in it.
If there's nothing to hide, investigate.
Yeah. So Mike Lindell, and there's been countless stores that have pulled his MyPillows out of it because of his.
But from what I understand from his website, his sales are booming right now.
Yeah, he is selling.
His story is really a neat story.
Same as the Morgan Wallen guy,
Exactly.
that people are backing him. Mm-hmm. And I've got 2 or 3 of those MyPillows. They're great. Now, have you gotten a comforter? All the way made in, where's the stuff made from?
Oh.
As we turn to our next story, another person has been canceled. He's had to resign after a racial slur. He'd been there 45 years running the paper, and he released a statement Friday. I don't know exactly what he said or how he said it, but he made some slur, and the company at first said, it wasn't that big. He didn't mean any harm by it, but it's turned into something bigger, and he's had to resign over that at the New York Times.
Of course, you can hear that word all over hip-hop, and nobody says a thing.
Correct. And we all know that happens.
Double standard.
Now, this also happened over the weekend, where inmates take over jails. 115 prisoners took over a jail in St. Louis.
And supposedly, for several weeks, they'd had problems with the locks on the jail cells.
Really?
You would think that would be a priority to get that corrected.
I would think so. And I forget which member of Congress is one of those in the squad, and I saw the story, and I probably should have read it, but we're taking up for the inmates. One of those that's in that little squad with...
the girl with the funny, not AOC, but one of her...
Yeah, one that runs with her. And I forget. And she's been getting
something.
a lot of backlash for taking up for the prisoners that overtook it. Now, this comes out. We don't know if there's truth to it, but... BuzzFeed released the information on this, that Parler, before all this went down and they were shut down, went to Trump's people, not actually Trump, to his organization and said, look, if the president will tweet on our site first, we'll give him 40% of the company, 20% now and 20% later. They said, no, that could get us in trouble, and it would have been trouble.
Right.
But he never even heard the offer, from what I understand. It was just presented to his organization.
Exactly.
So if you hear that somewhere today, that's the backstory to it. It never made it to Trump, and I'm sure that others will take that story and run with it and try to make him look bad on that.
Fake news.
Yeah. Parler was canceled. I don't know if that will ever make a recovery.
Be aware, if you were on Parler, supposedly there's another website called Parley, Parley.
And
it is
not?
Not the same.
Okay.
It is not the same.
I hadn't even checked back to my account. I was uploading
I'll go back
everything
and it
that we
says
do.
there's an error or whatever.
Okay. So that's happening. Now, this is one of these that voted against Trump for impeachment. Of course, Liz has got her own, Cheney has got her own problems. This little guy here, Peter, how do you pronounce his last name?
Measure.
Yeah, I can't pronounce that because I don't have any neighbors named
And
that.
it's probably major, but it looks like a French connotation of it. I don't know.
It's kind of like Kynard and Kennard.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm with you on that. But he's a Michigan Republican. He did a town hall meeting and was eaten alive.
I'm sure.
They pretty much told him he was a traitor, he'd done Trump wrong, and he still stood by what he did. But Trump is coming for your job. Just remember that.
2022, look out.
Yeah, it's going to be quite the year.
Yeah.
Sad news on this. And, of course, when you had kids and I had kids, or actually I did and Angie did, but there was no such thing as a party where you blew these colors to announce what sex you were going to have.
Listen, back when I was having my children, they determined the sex by the heartbeat of the
Oh, I thought they still
baby.
came to the house.
Oh. It's going to be a throwdown. We're going to have a little extra show here. It's going to be a throwdown.
But it has become big business now for this.
Exactly.
And
reveal parties.
Reveal,
they call
that's
them.
the name of it.
Yeah.
A couple was having this, and I don't know the exact size. I use this picture as just an example, but they had a cannon in the front yard which was going to blow out what color. It went wrong. It exploded and killed one. A 26-year-old man has been killed there. He's been taken to the hospital.
Metal shrapnel or something from the cannon when it erupted, hit him.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a Civil War cannon, though.
Probably not.
No,
They
it's-
make these cheap ones
Yeah.
now that you can buy.
Exactly.
But nonetheless,
China now.
yeah, made in China. Ain't none made in America. But sad news on that.
Yeah,
I don't
shame.
believe anybody else was hurt. We don't think so. As we had a bunch of deaths of celebrities over the weekend, this one almost slipped by me, and I thought, wow, what a great organization, and he has passed away at the age of 77. The guy that founded Make-A-Wish.
Make-A-Wish.
He was one of the 3 original guys, and the very first one was a kid that wanted to become a cop. And I think he did end up being a cop later on. But he passed away over the weekend to cancer.
Frank Shankwitz.
I'm glad you said that.
I knew you were waiting for me to say.
It's just tough for me, these names.
The whole premise of this foundation is wonderful.
It is.
Children that,
Or terminally ill.
terminally ill. And
Get to do something before.
Exactly.
Also, another, and I guess you would call this guy a legend. I remember it.
Oh my gosh,
I didn't
Leon
watch it.
Spinks. Oh,
Yeah, he sure did. Of course, he beat Muhammad Ali back in '78, the greatest of all.
Oh, yeah. Fly like a butterfly.
That's right. He died of prostate cancer. I think it was on Friday afternoon that he passed away, or it was released. So, condolences to Leon Spink's family also. As we look at, do you remember this guy?
Yes.
Now,
Christopher Plummer, Sound of Music.
Now, I have to say that was the most miserable movie I've ever sat through in my life. As a kid, with those 3 channels, you had to watch it because that's all that come on. Sound of Music did you like it?
I did.
See, it wasn't my thing.
It's a girl thing. It's probably more of a chick flick type
Maybe
thing,
so.
and a musical.
But all that singing that I didn't understand at the time.
Oh, it was beautiful stuff. That's a classic.
Because I was sitting there thinking, Glenn Campbell doesn't sound like that as a kid.
That movie's kind of in there with Gone with the Wind. They're just kind of classics.
Do you think so?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So I wouldn't have thought that would have ranked up there with.
He was a good-looking man when he was young.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, how'd you rate him as an older man?
He was a good-looking man when he was young.
It's amazing what time will do to you. It takes a.
Tell me about it.
You bump into friends that you hadn't seen in a few years, and you think, "What happened to you?"
What I do is I bump into people with masks on, and I'm not sure if it's who I think it is. I'm going,
that is a thing.
and I pull my down. Is that you?
You do bump into people now that you have no idea with this mask thing going on. You don't know who they are. No. So there you go. Let's take a minute and go out to Collinsville and talk about the Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville.
Love me some Joe Williams.
Now, again, don't forget, registration tonight there from 5:30 until 7:30 if you want to sign up for West Lauderdale Pee Wee.
Softball.
Yeah, all that good stuff. So go in and see it. I couldn't get it out. These deals are good through Tuesday afternoon. You get Roma tomatoes for 99 cents a pound. You can also get those navel oranges, $3.99 for the 4-pound bag, Jan.
Oh, goodness.
Those are great. You can also get the chili beans from Bush Beans, $1.19 a can. You can get the A1 steak sauce. That's only $3.99 for that 10-ounce bottle. Plus, if you're more of a Heinz 57 type person, $3.39 for that 10-ounce bottle. You can get the Heinz ketchup. Of course, that's $2.99 for that 38-ounce bottle. The Ranch Hidden Valley. Boy, that makes a salad better.
2 for $6.
Go check it out. You can also get the Skippy peanut butter. $2.49. I like that stuff. Also, the Eggo waffles makes a great quick meal. If you need one, put some syrup on it and you got something. 2 for $5. And, of course, steaks, if you're going to be doing some cooking out on the grill, $5.99 a pound. For the T-bone, you can get the shoulder steaks for $3.99, and you can get the whole pork loin for $1.59 a pound. Included with the pork chops, don't forget those. $1.09. A pork chop is just great.
You're making me hungry.
$1.99 a
I know
pound.
it.
And Coca-Cola products, 3 for $12, and the drinking water, 3 for $10. That's some of the bargains that you can pick up on. See Joe, again, that's in Collinsville. Take a left at the four-way stop, go to the front door, and that's where you'll be. So, Jan, it's been great. I want to say thank you for coming in.
I've enjoyed this. It's a lot of fun.
So what do you got to do the rest of the day?
I'm going to go home and drink some more coffee.
Coffee's wonderful, isn't it?
It is.
So if you're not a coffee drinker, we urge you to do that. And what happened to the guy that used to be on the Folgers coffee, the guy with the donkey? Did he just disappear? What
Juan
happened?
Pablo? No.
Yeah, Juan somebody.
He was on The Bachelor.
Must have been. He's gone.
He's gone.
It's amazing how campaigns just change through the years, and that's one of those you just don't see on television anymore.
Exactly.
And so do those stuff, like currently, I'm trying to think of, you used to remember Flop Flop, Fizz Fizz.
Oh, what a relief it is.
Yeah. Do things like that still work? Do they have jingles and things on a national level?
I had a cousin's little grandson, and you'd say to Mark, "One word, Mark," and he'd say, "Diarrhea." And there was some sort of medicine. It came from the commercial.
So it does still work.
It does. It still.
It gets ingrained in your head.
Exactly.
Again, thank you for coming by. And Jan, thank you for filling in this morning for Candace. I appreciate it.
Wonderful. Fun.
We'll have you back some more if
Okay.
you'd love to come back.
Does this job pay anything?
There you go. And you and Deb.
Now that would be a show.
Debbie needs to come join you.
Yeah, she does.
So,
she's
again.
hiding out somewhere.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning. We'll be back in the morning again live at 8:30 for all your news and headlines. All coming up here at Scotty Ray's Weather. And again, do appreciate it.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by